if I am successful, all my farmers are successful, all my shareholders are successful, all my employees are successful. I have to be successful.
Hello, hello. Today we have my dear friend Avantika, somebody I'm truly inspired by.
If you don't evolve, you become irrelevant.
As remarkable as this sounds, it's actually even more remarkable.
You know, when you have that moment in your life where you realize this is exactly where you are meant to be.
Wow, that's powerful, Avantika.
I took to this business like a fish would to water.
Sugarcane as a catalyst for the future.
When I joined the business, then red rot hit. It was baptism by fire.
Yeah. If you look at a bee's design, the body is very wide and the wingspan is very small.
Aerodynamics.
It cannot fly, but thankfully the bee doesn't know that.
I'm a bee. If this government wasn't in place, and I mean central as well as state, then we wouldn't have gone for this.
Oh wow.
Our plant is going to be the first in the world which will be made only from renewable energy. Nothing brings me greater happiness than creating something which is good for everyone. 550,000 farmers, 10,000 villages. You have to create change. Anyone in an agriculture business can feel global warming harder than anyone around them. We must try to bring nature's balance back. If after commissioning, within a year, I am not announcing at least a doubling of capacity, consider me failed.
What does good garbage mean to you?
The kind of garbage that's kind to the earth, you know.
Hello, hello. Welcome to the Good Garbage Podcast. My name is Ved Krishna. My primary reason for existence has been to find ways to leave our wonderful planet cleaner. We will be speaking with material innovators, creators, and propagators to learn from them how we can build for scale and towards a regenerative future. Their stories will help us answer the big question, what is good garbage? Hello, hello. Today we have my dear friend Avantika and somebody I'm truly inspired by. And I've known your family for maybe 35 years at least, maybe more even. So I'm going to start right there, Avantika. Talk to me about your illustrious family and how that has impacted you as a person.
So I think that since you said you know my family since pretty much before I was born, then you know that illustrious is not a word that anybody would use to describe ourselves. I think it's more about dedication to whatever we do, or I think especially my grandmom and my dad and even my mom, I mean, वो बोलते हैं ना कि शिद्दत से काम करते हैं. Whatever you do is 100%. So you're all in or you're all out. I think that's what it is like to be in this family.
And I actually learned a lot from your grandmother. So when I would go, she would always be in one of the sugar mills and I would go to meet her to do an annual deal for bagasse. And she would always call me to her home. And the pearls of wisdom that I got, more not from what she said, but what she did, like you guys, you were saying. So I remember sitting with her on a dining table and every few seconds there was a computer screen in front of her. And she would pick up her specs and look at that and then look at me again and then start eating again. Then ultimately I couldn't hold it. I was like, what are you doing?
It was, okay, let me guess. Okay, let me guess. It was the number of trucks, was it? Which were emptied or waiting in the yard. It had to be that.
So every weighing station. Every weighing station. So I actually asked her why. She said, see, everything else can be managed. But if we are out of cane, then there's a problem. The other thing she told me, and for the viewers and the listeners, our family came into sugar before yours. And she said, you guys did not do well. So that's what she told me. And she said, you know why? So I said, no, tell me. So she said that you didn't work with the farmers, which is what you were starting to talk about when before we started the conversation. So tell me more about, that journey. Again, I'm still going to stay with your growing up. And the impacts you got. Let's stay with your grandmother first, because I have had like maybe 10 meetings with her.
Which is enough. Huh?
It's definitely not enough. But I'm sure you gained a lot. So tell me maybe 3 to 5 things that you would say that, okay, these are things that I carry from my grandmother.
I mean, I didn't have the opportunity to work with her. But I think I have experienced her working since the day I can, of course, remember. So a few things, I mean, I don't know if it's going to be 3 or 5 or what, but I'm just going to tell you what impact she's left on me. Firstly, she was the only grandmother in all of my friends, right, who was working and actively and decisively and vehemently, right? She was in the plants. Like nobody else had a grandmother who ran factories to begin with. She was project head. Can you understand that every single plant of Balrampur, which has been set up as greenfield or even taken over as brownfield, she has spent the first season of that plant in that unit. So I think that this sort of it comes very second nature to me, that if you want to really do something, you do have to get your hands dirty. You've got to be in it, mind, body, heart, and soul, and physical presence is important. So the whole, of course, with COVID and stuff, we learned so much, like doing stuff remotely, but there is no replacement for physical presence, even though communication has changed. Physically going, physically seeing, physically experiencing and hearing directly from whether it is your workers, whether it is your farmers, and not just from the managers, and people who are paraphrasing or giving you a report or something like that. I think that there is no replacement to that, and I think that is something I carry with me. I try that every time I visit UP, I don't come back without visiting at least one factory minimum. I try like 3 hona chahiye in one go, but because that presence, even if it's 1 day in the factory, even if it's 2 days in the factory, you can feel and sort of smell and breathe what's going on, and there's no replacement for that. So I think that's
smell for sure. Any sugar mill
doesn't smell anymore though. Not
you get
like
used
that.
to it also. Maybe your nose has gotten adjusted. So I grew up in a sugar mill compound, and I would never smell it.
But now
I
it's
can smell it.
ZLD and this and that,
maybe.
right?
Yeah,
so like
those
there's
were different
nothing.
years.
Yeah. So now the environmental norms have made it so that we don't waste a drop of anything, right? So that's one thing. And then the inspiration that I also draw from her is about sheer grit and resilience.
Absolutely.
So you just don't give up. We don't give up.
Yep.
And no matter how tough it is, no matter what curveball is thrown at you, I think that giving up is not an option, ever. So I think that is definitely something. And of course, it's not just directly through my grandmom. All of this is also my dad.
Yeah. And we'll come to your dad.
Yeah. So I think a lot
but
of...
they're also very different. Your dad
very,
and your
very
grand,
different.
like I know both of them and they're very different.
Spending 5 hours to understand one small thing is my grandmom.
Yeah.
And physical presence is my
your
grandmom.
For sure.
My dad has the ability to have the digital presence that even, I don't know, your most advanced platform cannot provide.
Yeah.
He has
everything on his tips.
And he's connected with his people.
Yep.
Without the physical presence.
Yeah.
I don't know how he does it.
Yeah.
But he does it. He can hear your voice and tell you if you're okay or not.
Wow.
And he's always been like that. And it's not, of course, I am his daughter, so it goes without saying that it's for me. But every single person whom he deals with in terms of, he deals with unit heads -1 minimum. Minimum.
Yeah.
Okay, it's sometimes -2 also. Yeah. So imagine 10 factories into maybe at least 10 people.
Yeah. So 100 people directly.
At least. Yeah. And then this is without the head office. This is without the Lucknow office. So he can hear the person's voice for even 10 seconds and tell what's going on. So he has that sort of knack and ability, and I sort of need more of the physical presence, which I think is more my grandmom's.
Physical presence, grit. You still have like at least one more to go.
So, when work comes to you, work must be done.
Must be completed.
Yeah. It doesn't matter.
So much like my dad.
2 a.m. also, no?
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
If you've seen it, you just do it.
Yeah.
So that's something
and
like...
And he had this thing, like, I don't know if your grandmom was like that, but it would be just this kind of crazy nervous energy. If he had to call somebody, it had to be done that day. I was like, do it tomorrow. No. It has to be today.
Yeah,
it has
funny.
to. I don't know about tomorrow.
So, there's a funny story. So, once she called a supplier. Okay, so like factory setting up, like I said, was her job, right? So some part or some machine was being delayed. And I don't remember which company it was, but she called up the MD of the company because the supply was being delayed and she cannot handle delay. She's a Marwadi housewife to begin with, you must remember, right?
Yeah.
So delay is not okay. So she called him up at, I think, some ridiculous 11:30 PM and the guy is barely able to answer the phone and she's like, सोए तो नहीं थे? She'll ask him. But obviously वो सोया था यार. Yeah. Like it was a normal thing. She'll call up people at random times of the night and start with, अरे सोए तो नहीं थे ना? And it can be 2 AM. She'll have the same question for whoever she calls up. And that poor guy, he cannot say anything because if this lady
madam is calling.
Madam क्या? मतलब she is awake and she is working. How can I sleep? You are the MD of your own company as well, na? But you feel a bit of shame, right?
Yeah.
So you can't say no. Yeah. And it was like that. So work has to be done when you have seen it.
Yeah.
So that
for the listeners who are not from an Indian background, Marwadi is a community we both come from.
belong to. Yeah.
And it's the business community in India and known for its intricate value system that we inherit over the years in our bloodstream, I guess. So there are a few idiosyncrasies that I've heard also. So I want to use this platform to see if they were right.
Yeah.
So when your grandmom was there, I think it was 5 units at that point. It may have been 5, 6, 4, something like that. But anyways, I was told that in each unit, the layout of the house is exactly the same. Everything that is bought, it bought in 5 shoes or 5 of the same dresses and put in the same place. So when she moves from one to another, there is no difference. Like she would literally walk into the same house, same kind of clothes, same shoes.
But
That's
is
true.
100% true. And it's really helpful.
Yeah. It's so calming.
Very efficient.
Yeah.
And it's genius. Right? Because you take the thing, once you've achieved something you like.
Yeah, you just structure
Why
it.
rethink that thing?
Yeah.
And copy, paste helps a person also feel at home. Plus production, procurement, everything is easier, faster. It's a no-brainer, no questions asked.
So the houses were the same. And
it's the same.
Wow.
And if you do visit, you see that. You won't realize you went
I haven't realized. I've only visited her in 2 of her units, Babnan and Balrampur.
Oh, but those were not the same because those were not made by us. Those were brownfield.
Before they were, okay.
Yeah.
They were
but the greenfield, they're all like that. But
and
it's
there was
incredibly efficient and it's true.
Another story was that she would be in her car and then she had a toilet car that moved with her on the back. There was a sumo that was converted. Was it true?
It's true.
Oh my gosh.
The best toilet
I'm excited that
ever.
I get to ask you these now.
No, so honestly, it's better than today's flight toilets and all that. It had proper veneer and nice and it was super nice.
Oh my gosh.
It was, and it really worked. So basically, for all my holidays, up until the age of maybe 16, 17, I was in the factory with my grandmom. I think that's why I connect to it so much.
That's amazing.
So
and why was that? Why was it because your grandmom wanted you there? Why was it because your dad sent you there?
No, my grandmom didn't get to see
because she was so much in the factories.
Right? So so that was the time where we would also, I would be gainfully employed. Somewhat.
Yeah, me too. I went through the same journey.
And I mean, you're not hooked to anything. I mean, not that there was a lot to be hooked to back then, but it was a very outdoorsy, very safe, very sort of organic way where you just grow up with other children. Because
from the colony.
as you know, and I don't know if everybody knows this, but in India, all sugar mills will have little townships for all the employees and their families to live in. So it was filled with kids, which I could never get the same in Calcutta because you just walk out and there's maybe 50 kids playing, So it was really nice. And then my parents could travel then, happily and guilt-free.
Yeah.
Right? Because I didn't even want them there.
Yeah. You wanted to be with grandma.
I wanted to be.
And she was able to give you time when you were there?
She gave that 2-3 hours maximum, which was enough.
Yeah.
even, I mean, I have a son and he's 3.5, and beyond a couple of hours, they don't really want you. They just want to, make sure that
you're around.
When you're there, you're there.
Yeah.
And that was great. You know why I liked it? It's because I was boss there.
Okay, nobody would mess with you.
No, it's not like nobody would mess with me. I dictated when I slept, when I woke up.
Parents were not
what I ate, when I ate, what I drank. So like there was one holiday, like ridiculous, but I had Maggie every single day.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, and
but
then
your grandma was so fond of feeding. I remember being fed by her each time I went, even to the office. She would have arranged that, this is made in desi ghee and it is from the house. She would know everything. Nahi beta, you must have one more. Very, very.
She loved to feed.
Yeah.
She loved to feed, and so it was, the point was that no child should be having one Maggie a day for 1 month straight. And then I got incredibly sick. Okay, because it was overdone.
I'm sure your mum wasn't happy.
She didn't even know until I got sick, right?
Yeah.
And then, since then, for I think maybe 15 years, I didn't have Maggie again.
Oh my God.
Because, it left such a bad
That's
memory.
A good thing in
but
the end.
In a way, I guess it worked, no?
Yeah.
30 Maggies did it for me.
Yeah. So I have to also set context, because as remarkable as this sounds, it's actually even more remarkable. You mentioned this in passing, that no other grandmother was working. Mm-hmm. So, of course, she was unique. And I remember not just that whole part of the country knew her. Mm-hmm. Like East UP, there was only one Madam Ji. As soon as you said Madam Ji, you knew who was being talked about. So, can you tell us more of the circumstances that led to her heading and owning those factories and really pushing her way into kind of that scenario?
Why did it happen, right? Yeah. So, okay, no, at that time it was just one unit, Balrampur, right? And it was bought by my great-grandfather, who was an MP. And he bought it with his brother. And at that time communication was so difficult, right? Yeah. Even phones were...
and he was an MP from that area? Or
no,
here?
No, from here.
Here.
And he bought it from the British with his brother. And what happened was that there was so much pilferage because everything was in cash.
Yeah.
Right? There were those Babu-led sort of companies. Yeah. Yeah. And if you really wanted something to be done better, you had to have more control, which meant physical presence at the time. And my grandfather was very good at the communication, the talking, the PR, government to talk, to represent, to all of that. But he couldn't be the guy who went and moved to the middle of nowhere to turn this thing around. I don't think he could have lived without people.
Yeah.
Yeah. And my grandmom, I don't know, even till today, okay, what got into her, that she asked her dad-in-law that, can I try? Okay, and I don't know what...
And your grandfather wasn't very interested in business?
No, my grandfather was interested in business. He just couldn't move to the factory.
Factories. Okay.
Okay, he couldn't do it remote.
I thought he was quite spiritual as well, is what I'm told, again, folklore.
Yeah, but... he was interested in the PR. Okay. If he could stay in Calcutta and contribute, which he did.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, what was needed was not that.
Yeah.
So she asked. Her father-in-law said yes. Okay,
which is a crazy thing at that time in a Marwadi family.
Yeah, 1980 India, where a Marwadi housewife, Hindi Sahitya major, okay, from Kanpur University, leaves her 14-year-old son and her 7-year-old daughter in Calcutta to her mom-in-law, who decides that, beta, you go, I'll handle it.
That's
and she
very progressive.
Moves lock, stock and barrel. And really they were progressive.
Yeah.
He was an MP, it showed. He really wanted things to happen, Unfortunately, he died very young at 46 only. Otherwise, maybe there would have been more of him in the India. He wanted to build the country. He was not interested in anything else.
Yeah.
But my great grandmother, just imagine, she was the one who told my mom when she got married that, why are you wearing a salwar kameez? You used to wear jeans, no?
Wow. So even salwar kameez is progressive, by the way. at that time?
Well, I'm talking about my mom now.
Oh, your mom. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So she was like, why are you wearing this?
Yeah.
You didn't wear this until a few days ago. So wear your own clothes, you know?
Yeah.
And that's it. You know,
Yeah.
that's how it was. And then my mom never wore a salwar kameez.
True women's lib was in the
Yeah.
Saraogi house.
Yeah.
So let's move to your dad, who I, of course, have interacted with a lot more, and I
Yeah.
love him to bits, and I've learned so much from him. One of the things I learned from him was stick to your knitting.
Yeah.
And you've clearly taken him away from that, because he would always say, I am never doing anything but sugar. And then I remember about maybe 6-7 years back, we were sitting and we were doing our bagas kind of this. And he said, my daughter is after me, and she's got this crazy thing in her mind that she wants to make PLA. And I actually told him, that's amazing. You should let her. It's like, come on, dude. Like, I hope she'll get over it. Is what he told me 6-7 years back. And I was so I told him, please don't let her get over it. At least I found one of my kind, like without knowing you at that stage. But it was interesting that, and I was once giving a talk at the International Sugar Organization, ISO, in London. And my first screen was just stick to your knitting, Vivek Saraogi. So I said, this is what I've learned. And there were 2-3 others who I'd learned from. But again, somebody who clearly is a maverick, does things his own way, lives life his own way.
Oh, yeah.
He's told me very clearly, I'll never have dinner with you. Because
you don't drink.
Yeah, I don't drink. I don't do cigars. So he's like, you are no good, like all my whiskey will go to waste. That's what he's told. And that's what he's done always with me. Come for breakfast or lunch. The one time was dinner was because there were many people. So then it's okay. But otherwise, he's told me very clearly, I'm never going out for dinner with you. You like, that will be so boring for me. But anyways, talk to me more about the things that you learned from your dad.
So, I think stick to your knitting is, I think nobody's described it better to me than you have actually. I've never heard that before, but it's so well put, because that is the cornerstone of who he is. I do what I know, and he's always the guy who would say that don't be afraid of the guy who knows 1,000 moves. Be afraid of the guy who's done the one move 10,000 times.
Amazing.
He sort of lives that. Right?
What a smart thing to say.
Yeah. In a way, this is very much still our knitting.
I'm very glad that this is becoming your knitting.
No, because see, at the end of the day, if you don't evolve, you become irrelevant.
Yeah. And you guys had already gotten into distilleries and ethanol and power. So that's all very connected to the knitting. You're right.
It's the same thing, right? You're still adding value to your entire stakeholder base.
We'll get into that. Right? You are increasing complexity 10x.
Definitely,
but that's the beauty of it also. That's the joy of it.
When we started doing ethanol or alcohol or whatever, it's
initially
the same
that is
thing. It's apples and oranges. It's suddenly from a mechanical process or a very physical process, it becomes a very, very biotech and chemical process.
Yeah.
And yes, PLA is very similar in many ways, but of course, very, very, 10x.
Yeah.
But 10x is fine, no? Any growth rate of 10x is fine. So I think
I'm more than you are. Like the amount I was excited even then, he was like, seriously, is this good? Actually, he asked me that, and I said, it's remarkable. Like, don't let her get away from it. She's like, dude, I'm actually wanting her to get away from it.
No, but I have to tell you something that, it's not... so I knew about your company before you knew who I am.
Okay.
So I'm also inspired by bio-based packaging in India. To me, you're the pioneer. I don't know who else does it. Yeah. But the fact that you guys were buying bagasse and doing cellulose-based stuff, that also gave me confidence.
Good. You should have met me before. We would have egged each other on more. I guess we were meeting
Papa would have kept us apart.
Because his daughter will go crazy as well.
Yeah, so he didn't want to reinforce unless, unless it was like good and easy for him.
But once he bought the idea, it was very fast because I met him one time when I saw that he's moving, he's changing tracks. He's now not saying, okay, somebody convinced my daughter, what has she gotten into? He was like, this looks good. And then he, of course, talked more about it.
Also, he's making it seem like it would have happened without him saying yes. It cannot.
No, of course
so, and the point was that if you ask him why he said yes, he'll say, because I ran out of things to say no to. Because the no's became yeses, and there were no
get
more
to
questions
some of that.
left.
But tell me first about your learnings from your father, apart from what you said in terms of his being able to connectivity and that, and stick to your knitting is of course a common one.
That is because, you know, he and I am learning that, you know, do the same thing every day. If you like it, if you don't like it, if you're upset, if you're happy, if you're sad,
just to
do the same thing. Do the same thing. It's boring, do it. It's fun, do it. You don't want to do it, do it. You're sick, do it. Doesn't matter. Just do it.
Yeah.
You know, like Nike, I guess.
Get your reps in.
Get your reps in. Yeah. And it really helps because everything just becomes second nature and you're not even thinking anymore. And that's the beauty of it, you know. So that's that. The other thing is that it's this crazy, mad follow-up skill. Okay, so, and this is one thing that I'm only still learning, and people are already fed up with me. So I think they must hate him. But
nobody hates him. I can tell you that. I know people from the ground level.
If something is noted.
Or he's got a mechanism also, I think.
It's crazy. Okay, but if something is noted, he will follow it up to the ends of this world. He is capable of finding Shivji in Kailash because there was a follow-up point which was not addressed. Okay, he can find anything for that. He will not let it go.
I also get straight messages from him direct. I'm like, he needn't send me this message, you know.
But he can't help it.
He'll be like, and he won't even send, the way he'll send a message is there'll be an email that'll come and there'll be a copy on the WhatsApp that'll come. So I'm like, I can read my email.
No.
But I'm like, okay, I better respond to both now.
So
follow-ups.
He's follow-up king. And I think that he's rubbing off on me a little bit because now I've been called a chaser.
It's so important.
I said, I hope not like for the drinks, but I take it as a compliment. People have said, okay, I get it, you're a chaser. I was like, in India mein to aise hi kaam hota hai, so whatever I've seen.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so let's switch to now the kind of really getting to know you. So did you, while growing up, did you think you would ever come into the business? And then, of course, you go and do a BA in US. And what is that about? What was your thinking as you were growing up? What did you want to be when you grew up? And when did this idea that I'm going to come into the family business really emerge? You know,
initially, of course, I didn't think I was going to get into the business.
Growing up, it wasn't.
Growing up, not like the first thing I did. It was never going to be that. I always thought that maybe later in life, you know.
Did you have a fantasy growing up that this is what I want to be? This is my childhood fantasy.
I had sort of developed this want to be a restaurateur.
So that is actually what you did.
Yeah, which is what I did.
So that came early on.
Yeah.
And what was the instigator for that? Like food, love for food?
Love for food. So I think I've traveled incessantly. Okay, since my parents have made, apart from the summer and winter vacations, which were booked, they did always take a holiday with us where we went to a different country every time. So I had traveled since the age of 7. And the food we ate. Okay. If anything could give me happiness, it was good food. You know, it was always about
Who would say, looking at you, where is the food going?
You talk to my friends.
Okay.
I'm lucky. Metabolism is good. Genes are good. And I do a fair share of running around, I guess. I loved what I got to experience. And in Calcutta, there was just none of it. You know, and I wanted to bring that to Calcutta. And though I studied photography and dance.
And I was going to ask you, what was the BA? Because we tried to look up, but we couldn't find what was the BA about. I think maybe it was business management, who knows?
No.
But it was photography and dance.
Photography and dance. I was a free
Okay, no wonder she wants to see where the frame is and, you know, if this is looking okay or not.
No, but I was a free bird. Oh my God. I did whatever the hell I wanted to.
That's the way to study.
And always, I think, of course, creativity has always always been a very important part of what I do. Like, I think aesthetics are very important. And I think that also somewhere comes from my grandmom, because if you weren't dressed up properly, she sent you back. So she did that.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it's sort of transit. Also, if you see my mom, she basically looks like a glamazon.
100%. Yeah.
So
the first time I met her, I didn't realize she was your mom. Yeah.
So I think beauty and like aesthetically something good and pleasing, it's always been, a part of the whole thing. So I think restaurants are a beautiful culmination of that, because you first eat with your eyes and then you eat. So that is sort of what I wanted to do at first. And I did do that. But incidentally, that taught me that I'm capable of so much more. Because what happened with the restaurants was that, I was doing it in partnership with the Olive Group, and they had no other outlet in Calcutta. There was no office, there was nobody to help me, and for restaurants in Calcutta, you need 13 licenses.
Oh, wow.
Okay, so
But your main Balrampur wasn't helping you with that?
No, because we have nothing here. We don't have any connect in Calcutta.
What?
Yeah, because
once I got stuck on Calcutta airport for some random reason, and I thought about calling your dad, but thank God I didn't.
It would have been absolutely useless.
No good.
Yeah, because he was absolutely useless to me. Okay, and to get every single license done.
I wait till he hears this one.
He knows it. He can't deny it. So, but for every single license, I had to go to each department and get to know each person and get my file through each desk myself.
Wow, that's great learning.
Yeah.
And this was right after college? Or a few years after?
Maybe like a year or so.
Yeah.
Like,
so
you
can
say
young,
fresh off the
what
boat.
I'm trying to get at.
I did it for 6 years before I joined work.
And it's a pretty funky concept, right, for Calcutta? Like monkey bar.
It was the first gastropub in Calcutta, and we had a run. Oh my God, we had a phenomenal run.
And that wasn't an issue with the stratified Calcutta society that a Saraogi woman made. That was never.
Firstly, what Saraogi woman?
No drama.
Like, we don't have all this in Calcutta. Okay. We are beautifully. Don't care about these things. At least my family's been like that. So I think all of Calcutta is like that. But
all of Calcutta cares. I can tell you that.
Okay. For sure. I didn't know.
For sure. At least from an outsider's point of view, like there's so much of
maybe they care, but like maybe by my generation, maybe they don't care. True. So it's also whatever you do well. Na? That's important. Yeah. So it was a great run to the point where like every Friday, Saturday, I stopped picking up calls.
Because there were so many.
Because everybody was like, can you get me a table? And I was like, how do I do that? Manufacture it? Like, it's full.
I'm not here. Yeah.
So I just wouldn't pick up the call. And suddenly, even like distant cousins were like, oh my God, Didi, can you help me get a table? And I was like, you've called me after 7 years.
To get a table. Yeah.
So it was like, it's hard to say no, na?
Yeah.
So I stopped picking up the calls. That's how great a run we had.
Yeah. So of course that was going well, and
it was real fun. But I was given a choice. Actually, it was a moment in time that I can pinpoint, where my dad asked me that, do you want to do the business, or you can be a shareholder and on the board in the future, because he obviously didn't think I was qualified to be on the board. Young, you have to earn everything in the family anyway.
Amazing.
So he said that you can be a shareholder and it can be run professionally. And it will be fine. Do you want to do it? And I was like, what kind of ridiculous question is that? Of course I want to do it. How can I let my grandmoms run business, my dad's blood, sweat, tears, joy? Okay, it is my dad's
and he really grew
joy.
Significantly.
I cannot let that be run by somebody who is not blood. Who will not have
the same passion at least.
And no matter what you see, and I did not believe in this nature versus nurture and this, that. I did not believe, okay, but now I do.
Tell me more.
I really think that blood or whatever, it does matter. Or maybe it's also the nurture part.
But expand on that, because of course this is a well thought of.
It is. Okay, so I'm a photography and dance major who ran a restaurant or two for a few years.
Yeah.
Why did I feel like I took to this business like a fish would to water. In fact, I felt after the first few months of training that what was I doing with my life before this? This is, when you have that moment in your life where you realize this is exactly where you were meant to be.
Wow. That's powerful, Avantika.
And I'm telling you, it was that before PLA, before anything. And if PLA didn't happen also,
you would still be.
I was exactly where I was always supposed to be. And I feel
and you felt it right in the beginning. It wasn't like this has come to me, I need to carry on the family legacy now.
I felt it on that day, and I felt it every day after.
And it must have been such a huge support for your dad, especially, because at least a child is now, as much as you guys may fight, but it is at least
banter.
Banter. The banter is a better word.
So if we don't do that, then the food won't digest. Okay,
I love it. I just love being in the same room as you guys while you guys are bantering.
Okay, let's go to the banter between me and my dad.
Yeah.
Right. So honestly, when he's in office and I'm not there, or if I'm in office and he's not there, it's like really sad. Okay, because
there's nobody to banter with.
There's nobody I can just blast into his room every 1.5 hours, have some stupid as hell exchange, which will seem like a fight and will put the person who's sitting there in a really bad spot because they will have to pick who wins.
Yeah.
Okay. And then we walk out. So we think that we might need to start charging ticket for entertainment.
I think that's a good idea. I was thoroughly entertained.
Because we are the entertainment.
I think it's 2 times that, we have witnessed it and I've been thoroughly entertained. And I'm usually on your side just for the sake of it.
Well,
I'm like,
well, look at me.
Of course, exactly. Why would I take Vivek's side?
So,
okay.
Yeah, I think it's really, really sort of enjoyable. And even that makes me feel like I'm in the right place. Ikigai.
So how many years has it been when that feeling happened that, okay, this is what I really want?
Maybe like a month or two in. It was not very long.
So
about 6
how many years back? 6 years now.
Yeah.
And so initially, you enter the sugar business.
Yeah.
Yeah. And what is your role initially? How do you evolve your role?
So the first thing began with training,
okay.
Right? You have to know how everything is made.
Works,
to the point.
And in the restaurant years, you were not involved at all?
Zero.
Zero. Ah, okay.
Yeah.
So you do start with training.
I didn't even know share price.
Okay.
Which is public information that everybody else seemed to know.
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't even know.
I still didn't know our share price.
I'm
like, whatever.
Yeah, but
it'll be whatever it'll be.
When usually people know these things. I didn't know anything.
Your dad definitely knows. Your dad definitely knows our share price.
Of course, he's a money man.
Yeah.
So he should know.
Yeah.
But it was zero. And then from the training of how everything works, how everything is made, where the moving bullets, it's not easy in that sense, but I enjoyed it. It was like a different world.
It's amazing. Because it can be overwhelming. You are already
it was overwhelming,
sizable, publicly listed.
Yeah, but who cared that it was overwhelming? I mean, I don't think anyone knew what to expect, including me, right? So it was, I didn't care that I sounded stupid when asking a question. Okay. I didn't care what people thought of me because I've been brought up that way.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what people
There's no
think
insecurities.
About you. Zilch.
Okay. Yeah, that's a huge plus.
Yeah, and I think that's always been me. And I think that if it hadn't been me, I wouldn't have said yes. I was very okay with looking like an idiot. And I still am. I ask silly questions even now, because
there is no such thing as silly questions, but okay.
Because I don't think it's wrong to want to know more.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I think that also for me learning comes only very visually. So when I was learning, then I needed to know exactly the inside of the machine also.
Yeah.
To understand why a certain thing is happening. Like you put something in and then something else comes out, right? Why?
Yeah.
And even with PLA, it's that.
Yeah.
And even with the distillery and the sugar and the cogen and everything, if I cannot visualize how matter is going from one state to another state, I will keep asking questions until I can. Yeah. So that it started with that. And then my role became
So how much time was that, just to understand
About
the lay of the
3
land?
months, 2-3
So
months.
that was hectic, 3 months, like really getting in and seeing the plants and that kind of thing?
Spending a lot of time at the thing, just looking and then seeing if I can try to remember and asking again and again, is it that? Oh, by the way, I had exams.
Did you have to give exams that
your
dad was taking them, or other people were taking them?
My dad taught me nothing.
Okay. Okay. So who was the examiner?
All the unit head, HODs, this, that. It was like that.
Oh, wow. How much has she understood?
Yeah, and the written proof was given then. Not just to my dad, but we have this thing called a general committee.
Like a family kind of this?
No, it's actually the decision-making body in the company.
Okay.
So it's not like my dad or I or anybody makes like unilateral decisions.
Yeah.
For us, it's 5-6 people from all disciplines who come in, weigh in, and then only things are decided.
Okay.
So like including what designation I would be was also like that. So nothing is unilateral.
Okay.
So it's quite actually professional. Though we're a family-run business, it's very, very, very professionally done. So
and that's the only way you can do things at the scale you are doing it.
Yeah, and so the exams and this and that, and then after that, they said, okay, now that this is done, we need to see where you will work. So 2 mandates were given. One was sugarcane, because actually my grandmom would look at sugarcane with the growers and everything, right? It's a tedious job.
Yeah.
And one was value addition to product and byproduct. So obviously starting with sugarcane was much more like sort of full throttle, right?
Yeah.
It's 550,000 farmers, 10,000 villages. And what do you have to create? Change. Right? You have your work cut out.
Yeah.
So what happened was that when I joined the business, then red rot hit. Red rot is the cancer of sugarcane.
Of the sugarcane,
And it hit our best variety.
Oh, wow.
And there were lakhs and lakhs and lakhs of quintals of sugarcane lying outside villages, which could not be crushed because it was diseased.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe it. For me, it was like destruction of value.
Yeah. And the farmers.
Yeah. And to see those tears, right? Ki sab barbad ho gaya, Pura saal, like field after field after field after field, our crushing dropped by some 30%, and it was very bad.
Yeah.
So to bring the change in changing of the variety, changing of the practices to make sure that this red rot goes out, I didn't come back for 2 months. So every day I would wake up in the morning, have breakfast, and go to the field and come back only when the sun went down.
That's great training. Yeah.
Training was done.
Full throttle.
Yeah. It was baptism by fire.
Yeah.
And it my color changed.
Nice.
Yeah. I was
You were even prettier.
unrecognizable. No.
More tanned, as they would say.
No, I mean, I think, but it was absolutely. But I'm still telling you, I loved it.
Nice.
Even that I loved.
Yeah.
And it was. And after that, I think I can understand how to create change in that world which seems so difficult. And it's just, that was sort of how I began. I think first 3 years was mainly sugarcane.
And were you spending a lot of time in the mills then?
Yeah. Once a month, I would go and I would at least go for a week, and that 2-3 mills situation, and go and really just meet growers after growers after growers after growers, to the point where I was going to growers' houses, drinking tea, eating food with them.
Amazing.
To the point of also addressing like 700 growers in a gathering, and everything else in between. So it just depended on what we needed to do.
Serious,
in that
real world training.
Yeah.
So let us switch to your journey with PLA. So you go and do these crazy things, spending a lot of time with growers, understanding the mills. When does this idea first, just raise its head? And how does it evolve, this idea of that I'm going to not just make the ethanol or distill it into alcohol, which are things which are already existing.
Yeah.
Why does this idea emerge, and how does it evolve?
I think it was very important for me, once I realized the contours of the business, and the role that the government also has in it, and agroclimatic conditions matter so much, and there is so much that just with the flick of a wand or the blink of an eye that can make or break that business, right? Which I wanted, that there should be more value. How can we create more value? That was sort of also a mandate given to me, and it was also something that I thought that I don't like this control over me. I've never, as you can probably imagine, a dance and photography major doesn't like control on me. Even as a child, I think I was not the easiest. I was probably a slight nightmare for my parents. But I think the children who are nightmares when they are young have what it takes to maybe figure stuff out later.
Yeah.
Because so much questioning, so much wanting to understand why, so, just so much of finding your own way in the world, And so I was on the internet, right? Because that's something I had finesse over beyond anybody else in the company, right? The ability to scour the internet, you know, and that's what I started doing. And I saw a clear bottle.
Okay.
It looked exactly like a PET bottle, and it said in French that I am made from sugarcane. Not that I know French. Google translates pages, right?
Yeah.
So that was it.
Okay.
That love at first sight moment. That was it.
I like the serendipity in your life.
Yeah. And, I feel like it must be happening in everybody's life. You need to be able to commit, believe, almost not. And I think that that's where my education has a role to play. I think that the fact that I wasn't an engineer, I was not boxed in. I didn't think that everything is so defined by these boxes and rules. I didn't know what the rules were. Best part. Right? So it was, that's what made me believe that anything is possible.
Have you heard that saying about a bee?
No.
So the bee, if you look at a bee's design, the body is very wide and the wingspan is very small.
Aerodynamics.
It cannot fly, but thankfully the bee doesn't know that. So that's a good thing, that you did not know you cannot fly.
I'm a bee.
Perfect.
So that is the thing. And one thing about my education, not to lighten it, like actually it was a liberal arts school. So what it taught me was to get through any kind of reading and make sense of it. I can read anything.
Okay? Even technical documents.
Anything I can read.
Wow, that I have difficulty with. Even with my crazy education.
You give me anything, I will read it. If I can't make sense of it, I will figure out online how, what, this, that. I'll make sense of the damn thing. How I do it is my problem. But I will get through it and I will be able to tell you what it says in 2 sentences. And
so you are a pre-AI AI.
No, I
a human AI.
Is it important or not? And if it's important, then this is what it's saying. Let's not give it more than what it needs to be given. So I think that in a US-based liberal arts education is taught very well.
Yeah.
You have to be able to present. You have to be able to make sense of things. And it could be anything. So that is something that really sort of stayed with me, and I think that's why I was able to get beyond the surface of what it was. I did so much reading. I think I knew everything about PLA before I even before it was even a proper concept, or what do you call that big file which you say yes or no to, a business plan?
Business plan.
Yeah. Before that, I knew everything. Everything I could find on the internet. I had read, bought articles, and I knew.
We would like to take a minute to thank our sponsors. Good Garbage is sponsored by Pakka, a family of brands that produces compostable packaging and works to implement regenerative solutions. Pakka's new project is to bring compostable food serviceware and food carry products to the North American marketplace. Learn more at pakka.com. Now back to the conversation. Let me take a step back.
Yeah.
So there is a bottle that attracts you and it's made out of sugarcane. There can be two reasons for that immediate love, right? One could be that...
Where did it come from?
Yeah, what is it within you? One can be that, okay, I want to create more value for my business, purely that. Or is there another yearning for meaning?
No, I have a much deeper yearning.
Okay.
Like for me, I'm like, if I'm successful, all my farmers are successful, all my shareholders are successful, all my employees are successful. I have to be successful.
And was there any inkling around sustainability as well?
Of course. That too. But for me, it began first as this. Like if I wanted, if I was able to create more value, that means I can give back more.
Yeah.
That was the first thing.
And the first test of sustainability is to sustain yourself. Otherwise, not much good will come out of it.
If you don't have a business that can run, then sorry, but you can, I mean, just a do-gooder doesn't...
You can make a lot of noise, but...
then I could have been an activist, right? But what I wanted to create was value, right? And then, of course, even when you talk about... So sustainability for me had been already from the beginning, which I didn't even know why, but somehow it was there to the point where I think in the very beginning also when I was working with the growers, I would have a problem if there was some plastic gutka thing or whatever littered in the field. If they had thrown something which shouldn't have been thrown. So like if I went to somebody's field, I was famous for it. By the end of it, I made them pick up all the dirt.
I used to start picking up myself and then others join.
Same. It's not like I'm that kind of person as well, like you, that if I want something done, I'll just go and start doing it, you know, and then everybody else will be like, okay, I'll also help. And that was always there in me. And I did not
Sorry, I'm going to push you a little bit more on this, because why was it there? You're born into a household that is fundamentally business oriented. They're running businesses which are farm oriented, but end of the day, they are trying to make good in business. You live in a city, and many times in cities you get, like, I know you travel, but where do you think that bone for sustainability came in? Because I obviously, now that I know you a little bit, I know it's there. And it's also what your dad told me the first time round. He said she's one of your kind. So that's what I was told. I was like, oh, great.
So I think it comes from that, the very base thing of it is you want to do good, you want to do right, you want to do better. You want to leave the world better than what you found the world in every way. Okay,
and this just came from within. That was there.
I think so. Okay. And you know what really moved me towards sustainability? If you ask like that personal experience. So actually so I ride horses. Okay, and one of our horses passed away. And there is no burial ground per se for horses. And even incinerators and all, they say it's there, but it's not active. So we wanted to give a bye-bye to the horse, right? Like how you do it for a human being. For me, it was like a member of my family, right? And in that process, I realized that all large animals are taken to the dhapa, what they call the dhapa in Calcutta, which is the city dump. You dig a hole, you dump 20 of them, you shut the hole.
Oh my gosh.
And you know what the hole is? A garbage dump. It is like a mountain. Okay, and 4,000 tons of waste every day is added to that mountain. I went trying to go inside to do a proper burial because I was thinking kahin mitti mil jaye, some degraded something which looks like mud to appease my mind, but there was none. And I walked through that place. It stank, of course. Like anything, but it was just combusting. You know, there were little cows who were eating dirt. There were children,
of course,
who were growing up in that. There were There were like full families, and you had to see them. They don't even look human.
Yep.
They look
Yep.
like animals.
Yep.
And they
Yep.
behave like animals.
Yep.
And I couldn't see it only. I just did not know that this is where everything what we throw away goes to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
You
there
know?
is no way.
And I was just like cloth and plastic and metal and everything and everything and everything.
Yeah.
And I was like, my God, this I can't stand.
Yeah.
You know, that's I
That's
think
a huge motivator. Yeah.
And you know, and what happened also, like my always as a child also, my mom has never let me throw something out of the window, and like people do it here, and like, you know, I couldn't deal with that, and it all came together, and when I saw that bottle, it was just like a
okay,
you
this
know,
can be done.
That okay, maybe there's more to this, you know.
Yeah.
And I was like, good for my people, good for the world.
Mm-hmm.
It was like the holy grail.
Yeah.
You know, and it's exactly what ethanol was also doing, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Reducing the fuel impact, petroleum impact.
Yeah, reducing the carbon footprint, better for the world, Atmanirbhar, everything. Socio-sustainable cause. I think for me, that is how it is. One and the other are linked. You know, and sustainability also means, you know, it doesn't just mean like better for the earth, but at the end of the day, those things which are not sustainable and they contaminate your food chain and this and that, because I see the fields. I know what's going in there.
Yeah.
You know, and I always had this thing in the beginning also when I started, that why do you need to use chemical fertilizers? That question came very naturally to me. You know, why can't you use like bio things? That was natural things. You know, what did you use before this became a thing in the market? Why can't we do that?
Yeah, so the land connect was there.
Yeah. I wanted that we are producing food.
Yeah.
Okay, at the end of the day, that food is being consumed by me and everybody around, right? So we should make that better.
Yeah.
You know, so to the point, like where sustainability for me is that important, that we produce and we give free of cost insecticides, because those are the worst kind of things to be put in the sand. Biofungicides. Okay, so we make this in the factories and give it free to the farmers, because it's not that expensive to make, because you're just growing a culture basically, but it just reduces the chemical load on the field, and if it's successful for one crop, it's successful for all the crops, and we don't tell them which field and all they need to put it in. They can do what they like. We just
it doesn't
give
have
them
to be a cane field.
As much as they ask, we give.
Nice.
You know, so because I just don't like this chemical thing, you know.
So it's a deeper, it's not just
it's
about, it's everything.
everywhere.
Yeah, it's all connected as well. So it's okay. You have a great idea. It's PLA. Nobody has done it in India. We import some, and there are mainly two big players in the world as well. And then this upstart comes in called Avantika Saraogi and says that, you know, she's going to do a 75,000 ton plant. It's not a small plant by any standards. I think the new plants that are coming up are around that size. So how does it evolve from this craze, bottle to, you know, to this plan, and then actually going and, okay, let's do this. It's a $300 million or more investment. $300 million investment. So it's a significant investment. You have to believe in the project. You have to get everything together. It's not a simple technology. And then you have to actually start executing it. So how does that evolution happen? A great idea, Avantika Saraogi likes it, but then, you know, you actually move ahead with something that's concrete, and how does that happen?
Yeah, so I mean, it took its time. So it took 4.5 years.
On the drawing board?
Yeah, before it was green lighted.
Okay.
4.5 years.
Of convincing your father?
Not just my father, but everybody who was in that general committee, like I'm telling you, and everybody had their own angle.
Yeah, right? It's a lot of money. And
and of course, if you don't respect the money will not come to you.
True.
And without that, you cannot make any damn difference in the world.
Yeah.
And you know, I think that we must not sort of, I never say that it's not about the money.
Yeah.
Because if it's not about the money, then you're not going to be able to sort of make it big, right? So first, it has to be a good business, and then only can it make a good mark in the world.
And it has to probably be better than what you're doing now.
Yes.
Because otherwise,
that's
why not just set up another sugar mill, right?
Baseline, of course. So, so basically we did these feasibility studies and this, that and the other. The same question, 75,000 tons, can't we do a smaller size? Can't we have a smaller investment? And all of that happened. But I mean, when you do the math, right, your operating cost cannot be at a disadvantage to the other people. So you have to be able to produce at either equal or below your competitor. Otherwise, it's going to, when the ship starts to sink, you will sink first. So that's how also we've made it good in Balrampur, Chini and ethanol. It's like if the ship sinks, we sink last. You just be the last one to sink.
It's like you've heard the tiger and the Reebok story?
Pretty much. Like you don't have to run the fastest. You just have to run
exactly.
faster than
the other guy.
Yeah, faster than the other guys, right? Yeah. And not the other guy, but the other guys. You want to be at the forefront there, So I think that was one of the reasons why scale became very important. Then the second thing was that this government. If this government wasn't in place, and I mean central as well as state here, then we wouldn't have gone for this.
Oh, wow.
Okay, because we definitely feel that if you are trying to do good, this government will support you.
Yeah.
And I think that it is for everybody to see. Really, there's now proof of that, which I will talk about in a minute.
Yeah.
But so, it's the confidence of this of both governments wanting to make a positive change in the world, just like we want to do that.
Yeah.
So the UP government has given us an incentive scheme, okay, of a 50% capital subsidy given to us over 7 years, a 5% interest subvention.
Yeah.
Which is that we pay 5% less interest than anybody else does.
That's amazing.
Right? And also a state GST net reimbursement, as well as these,
which is above and beyond the regular scheme.
It is way above and beyond, to show you that if you are putting 1 foot in for a good cause, we will put 2 feet in with you.
Did you have to really convince them and work hard on the policy side to be able to make them see the light that this is something that is going to make a huge impact?
It was easier than I thought it would be. I thought it was going to be absolutely crazy. But, our chief minister, Yogi ji, he looks like this man in this orange garb. But he is not.
Yeah, he's a smart man.
He is sharp.
Yeah.
Okay, he is sharp. From the first time he heard the idea.
Yeah.
Okay, and that
time
it was
very
just
keen
an
on
idea.
This anyways. Yeah.
Okay, he said do it.
Yeah.
And he when he so we had to announce the project before. I mean, we wanted to do it anyway. Okay,
Yeah.
Scheme or no scheme or whatever.
Yeah.
We wanted to do it.
Yeah.
And at that time, the project cost was 2,000 crores when we had approved the project.
Yeah.
And then they announced the scheme. And then what happens is that you go to other levels of, finding out, detailing this and that. And now the project cost is 2,850 crores.
Wow.
And thank God for the scheme.
Yeah.
So,
that makes your life much easier.
Yeah.
And the project way more viable.
Yes, viable, yes. Yeah. But everything only kicks in once you start selling.
Sure.
Basically. Which is
That's
fine. I respect that.
You can build it in at least.
Yeah. It was the CM who was convinced first, and then you saw it in the bureaucracy. They are also very sharp.
It's very proactive also.
The chief secretary, the industrial development council that they have, Invest UP, all of these guys are ready to sort of jump in with you, help you in any way that you need if you are doing good work.
Yeah.
And it's really nice to be living in this time.
Yeah, absolutely.
Where the government is really egging you on to do good rather than trying to see how they can make a bag from it.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know,
it's a big difference.
It's huge.
Yeah.
And it's been, I think I couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
You know, I just couldn't believe the support which we got. And they would ask questions, you would give the answers. They would ask questions, you would give the answers. And one fine day, it was like,
this is the biopolymer policy that, and so it goes a little bit beyond. And we talked about it. I remember, I think, a couple of times when we were chatting on this whole idea of biopark. That's a brilliant idea too. And how did that emerge? Because what happens is that you are now not just setting up a PLA facility,
but more.
And you're setting up an ecosystem for people to come in if they want to.
Yes.
And they have that encouragement that the transport goes down. You have many materials. You're not just making a plasticizer or polymer, but you are actually seeing it being made into different things. Because obviously for you to actually develop all that is tough. But then you have so many people who will take your raw material from you and develop it right there. So was that something that you guys initiated? Was it the government that worked with you to build this whole thing out?
We did give the idea, because as you rightly said that, you know, making a biopolymer or a plastic is just one part of the game, right? For it to become something that goes to the consumer, there are so many steps that it needs to go through, that if all of those steps combine, I think the speed can increase 10x.
Yeah.
You know, and then the believers have a place to be together, I guess. And we've tried to design the cluster, which is also still kind of coming up. It's not,
and it'll keep evolving. I don't think there'll be a...
But it's not just compounders, converters, and that kind of thing. It's also labs, it's also academia, it's also training, it's also everything.
So that whole area will change.
Yeah.
It's not just about
and you see
an
that
industry.
social bone in my body along with the environmental bone in my body gets satisfied. Nothing brings me greater happiness, you know, than creating something which is good for everyone.
Lots of people will move in. Oh, I didn't realize it was that big, like academia.
Everything we want to bring in. So I'm already in conversation with n number of people, including you. But this is a sort of the plan, and you know, we want to make it so that it's something that lasts, so that it's not just a sort of just a flame that goes out, you know, it's a fire that
I told
burns.
your dad on a lark, literally, consider 10,000 tons at least sold. You know, we are taking that. We'll figure out what we are going to do with it, how will we connect it to paper, how will we make it into bio-cutlery or whatever. But if you guys are going to make this, and that was part of my way of also trying to reinforce the idea that what your daughter is doing is quite amazing.
It's not useless.
Yeah, it's not. Well, I don't think he ever thought it was useless, but he still want to challenge you a bit, and I think that's a good thing. So just going forward on that. So there's always that challenge of costing, competing with the petroleum polymer, with all these kind of SOPs that you've gotten. The size that you're doing, I'm sure it'll be very efficient because I'm sure you'll use the latest technology.
And we are also absolutely insane, so that should
That's
work.
a good thing. That's what you want to be. Why would you be sane, you know? Like Steve Jobs said, or somebody said, no, all changes are done by unreasonable people.
You know, the PLA technology in the hand of Indians who have jugaad as their DNA, the efficiency is going to change.
It could go either ways.
No. In our company, it only goes one way. There is no other way.
They'll further kind of...
I can write it with my blood today.
Yeah?
Yeah, I'm telling you this.
That'll go beyond the capacity that they're thinking.
I don't know about capacity, but like efficiencies for sure. You know, how much you put in versus how much you get out, depending on all of the things that go in, including power, including everything. You know?
So when you look at the absolute costs, where are you? Do you think you will try to compete head on? Or you would
with plastic?
Petroleum polymers.
No. See, with 80,000 tons, you cannot compete head on. I think it's not possible. A regular PP, PE, PET line is 400 to 500,000 tons.
Okay.
At that scale, maybe I could compete. You know.
And what are you thinking as the premium in terms of when you do your projections? What do you?
Almost double. Almost double. Or let's say double only. I don't say less than double to anyone.
Okay.
Because, see, I think that there is enough happening in the country, and, you know, to sort of help with this. The point is that single-use plastics, a lot of them are banned, right? So in this
That's
case,
all in theory, Avantika. You
no,
see
but
it
they are
everywhere.
wanting to enforce it.
And when they have an alternate, then they can. Just now that becomes the challenge.
Yeah, and what's happening now is that they are enforcing it in whatever way that they are. But then what's happening? What's happening is that imports are also coming in, right?
Yeah.
So that is the thing that strikes everybody. So when I have to compete with wood or glass or metal or even paper for that matter, then I can compete, no? In one way or
but
another.
paper will never be a competition. It's totally
In the
different
sense,
structurally.
yeah, and I mean,
It'll be more complementary than.
yeah, that's what I mean to say. So, like, if I don't have to compete with regular plastic, with the other things we can work.
Yeah.
And so that sort of is that. Plus, I think that again, I have complete belief, that if you're trying to do everything good and right, the universe helps.
Absolutely. What's been of course, people must have started talking to you a lot, and I know that you are all over the map trying to, build kind of these bridges. So what has been the market response so far? That you see there being an overwhelming kind of desire to take material? Where are you on that?
Okay.
How much of it are you sold?
I mean, I don't think I can say
no.
that.
But it's a good number.
What I can say is that we're doing 50 plus trials.
Okay.
The headroom is immense.
Yeah.
If everything
And these are different materials that you'll produce from the PLA.
Yeah, like different applications.
Yeah.
So if things go well, then I think that, okay, so I'll tell you how you will get to know if I'm successful or not.
That's a good one.
Everybody will get to know.
Yeah.
Because if after commissioning, within a year, I am not announcing at least a doubling of capacity, consider me failed.
Awesome. Love it.
Yeah. So that's my goal.
That's amazing. That was one of my subsequent questions.
Yeah. So the way we've set up this plant is already for double.
Wow.
So I mean,
you're not thinking small by any standards.
How can you? Look, like if you are, who thinks that 80,000 tons will only be their business? Impossible. No. And actually really not good business to think like that.
And then you'll be one of the global players when you're at least 150 and more.
Yeah, but you know what? I want to make a difference in my country.
Yeah, but you don't have a problem if it gets exported.
No, I mean, in the sense that, okay, but at least one or two more steps of value addition in our country.
Yeah, absolutely. So why, of course, there are products lying right there, and, you have been showing me products from time to time. And is it going to be a single kind of structure of PLA, or you're going to also do some different kind of products, or that's all post-PLA manufacturing compounding? How are you seeing these evolve?
So at the moment, definitely what you said right now, post-PLA manufacturing
PLA is one granule.
Yes.
That's one, you can have any color till it's black kind of an idea. One structure.
So with compounding, a whole world opens up.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah.
So I think that, it depends on the application and then the compounding. But if you're asking me, and I think you are asking me a larger question as to what else, how, when, what. So like, let me give you my 5-year plan, which will make you feel real happy.
Great.
I hope.
I'm already happy with your 2-year one. So go ahead.
So the next step will be, apart from expanding to reduce the cost of the resin, we will be working on copolymers, right? Which might battle some inherent troubles that, or not troubles even, but like inherent disadvantages of PLA that we get to hear, maybe like barrier properties for one, right?
Or heat coefficient.
Whatever, right? Whatever, some people want to do something, but they're facing a technical challenge. So maybe definitely copolymer is going to be something in the mix. I am working very seriously as well on wanting to use other sources to make PLA. So we will have a grain.
Beyond your own.
Yeah, see, grain version will be there because it's coming from the same farmers. So what happens if, for any reason, sugar is short in the country, right? Food will always take precedent, and I want that to happen. I'm not myopic enough to say my business should do well, so people should not have sugar. Sorry, that will never be me.
Yeah.
Okay.
And because you're also doing it straight from the juice?
No, we're doing it from sugar.
Sugar. Okay.
Yeah.
You produce the sugar.
And I'll tell you
then,
why as well.
Yeah.
Grain will definitely be something that will be a bolt on there.
Sorry, and what is that grain?
It can be anything. It can be
Anything.
rice,
Anything
maize,
that has
most
starch.
likely rice and maize in our country, depending on basically how things
Not
are.
potatoes.
No, because I don't think we are surplus there.
Okay.
I'm thinking in every for me, it's not
surplus?
Environmental. It's socio-environmental.
Yeah.
Every thought is socio-environmental.
Great.
The socio will never go out. The environmental will never go out.
Okay.
For example, our plant is going to be the first in the world which will be made only from renewable energy.
Oh wow.
And I'm like, we had that thought.
Don't burn all that bagasse, Avantika, please.
Don't worry. 3G, 4G, all different sources.
Okay.
But no, you have to understand that the point is that they asked me that should we have the option for coal? I said
no.
Most definitely not.
Yeah.
Most definitely not.
Yeah, that takes away from the purpose.
And I mean, it's not like I will not accept that. So I cannot give up either of those goals. So we will be working. I mean, we want to work on agricultural residues to produce fermentable sugars, and then you can make ethanol, PLA, or any other thing from it. Right. So that is definitely a serious thing that I'm working on.
And cost-wise, does it? I'm sure it matters, right? If you're making it from sugar versus a starch.
When we have scale, maybe we'll be able to figure something better out. Is my hope.
Yeah. Right now,
and I want
from a lowest cost perspective, what is it?
Between starch and sugar?
Yeah.
It won't be that different.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you're not worried about that?
No.
Yeah. It's not like, okay, you'll have a lower cost substrate and a higher cost substrate.
Not at all.
Or raw material that's not the case.
It won't make a material difference. Let's put it like that. There'll be a difference, but it won't be material, and it will depend on the then price of those commodities.
How is it? I'm totally taking a side turn.
Yeah.
How are you managing family with all this craziness that you're up to? You have a young son, husband. Is it you are able to balance everything, or is it being a challenge?
It's a mess. Okay.
I love how you put it straight up.
But a good one.
A good mess. They're all supporting all your craziness.
Of course.
Yeah,
of course.
nice.
Look, I can't be sitting in front of you and talking about all these things so happily if my mind in reality is not at ease.
Yeah.
Okay. My mind is most definitely at ease.
Okay.
If I have to travel, I don't have to worry about it. I have enough family. I have enough support.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah, and very hands-on and of even staff.
Yeah, because I've seen you with your son. You're very hands-on. You're not
when I'm there.
When you're there. Yeah.
So for example, it means you sleep less. It means you don't have a social life at all. Like I told you.
Do your horses get enough of you?
Yeah.
They do.
Only my friends don't get enough of me. And then it's just very easy. I just have almost zero friends, which is fine.
Yeah.
I mean, I can count those on my fingertips, and I'm more than happy with that. They are like family anyway, you know. And I don't think I would have it sort of any other way. I love it.
Yeah.
And so for example, like sometimes I'm traveling for work. Sometimes I'm traveling to visit my husband at a horse show because he's competing. He's a very he's a very senior horse rider, one of the best.
I didn't know that.
In the countries. Yeah, he represented the India in the Asian Games in 2014.
Oh wow, that's serious.
Yeah, and he's going to try again this year. And so he's very serious about this. And as an inconvenient as it is, riding season and sugar season is the same.
Oh, well done.
Okay, so beautiful, right? Yeah. So weekend sometimes means that, and I'll take my son along. And like even before I got here, I took my son horse riding.
Oh, nice.
And I also
so you're
ride.
Able to,
So it's that family activity that we do, you know. And I think also what keeps me kind of sane, I would say. So it was, it's like that, you know.
Yeah.
I sometimes wake up in the morning and I have to think, okay, where am I today?
I was in fact, like, you don't know this, but day before, we had some trials in a place near Cambridge. So I flew into London, rented a car, drove to Royston, did those trials, came back to London, took a flight to Paris, and then I was talking to some people on an online call, and I was just telling them this is, and then I'm flying to Delhi and then to Calcutta. So they were like, how do you manage that? I said, I'm both obsessed and possessed. Do you have a good exorcist? So they were like, yeah, we'll find one for you. I said, I need that to be able to get off my...
Anyone who tells you it's not crazy.
Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah.
So what is it like? Like, of course, Balrampur Chini has been there for a while, and there's this new energy that has come in clearly. And what is it like to take a traditional company and turn it on its kind of, whatever you call it, like turn it into a very different thinking company? What is it like?
It's the most beautiful experience, I have to tell you, because everybody wants to contribute. You know, we have 6,000 plus employees.
Wow. Yeah.
Okay. And everybody wants to help. So when help is needed, there are 10 people rushing to give you that. They're just waiting for the command. I think I see people.
It's a lot of support.
And it is, and they're so passionate and they are so driven to make it better. It's unbelievable.
So you're not the only crazy one there.
Everyone
There's
is
enough.
cracked.
That's
totally.
good.
You know, and I see people getting younger with this. Okay, because even the 60-somethings are finding ways to contribute to make this new thing. Because everybody feels that they are making a difference, not just in Balrampur, but in the country. You know?
They're all part of the bio yug.
Yeah.
Or bio generation.
Yeah.
I'm going to start taking it towards closure. I know that you have a tight timeline as well, a deadline as well. You said a beautiful thing in somewhere where you said sugarcane as a catalyst for the future.
Yeah.
So when you look at the future and you started mentioning it, if you look at it from a scale angle, like you said, this is going to double. Great. Now, if you look at instead of a 5 or 10-year horizon, what will your dream be? Will you look at, and you can go beyond PLA, of course.
Of course,
you could be
I will.
PLA and this. What is your 10-year dream?
So I think definitely one more biomaterial or chemical or polymer in there for sure. Because I think it just makes sense. It makes sense for the world. It makes sense for Balrampur. And it will make sense financially also, considering the way things are going globally. So I think that if it's not financially viable, they will make sure that it is. You know? Because regulations will come in and things will happen. So, you know, it's very, very important, and I think you already understand it, but I think that the nature's balance is so fine, right? Yeah. That when we talk about, you know, things running out or things making a bad difference in the world, you know, even a 0.1% deviation from nature's balance creates
havoc,
global warming like we see it today. And do you know why I feel it? Is because we can't predict anything with the crops anymore. Yeah. We can't predict anything.
Yeah, and you see it right
and
up
and
now,
I see it and I feel it and I feel so upset about it. You know, because you see the large scale impact, right? The growers are like, "Arey, aisa to kabhi nahi hua. This has never happened before." Yeah. You know? And I hear it, I am telling you, I hear it every year. Yeah. So I can literally feel global warming harder than anyone. Yeah. Anyone in an agriculture business
will see it.
Can feel global warming harder than anyone around them. You know? And I think that it's we must try to bring nature's balance back. And with the growth and everything happening, how else do you do that, right? You have to pump out less fossil-based resources. I think that's the only way in the long term to cut emissions, cut CO2 being added to the atmosphere, right? You just stop pumping, or don't, it's not going to stop, it's silly for me to say that, but you cut it down. You know, with a growing population, if we're able to cut down the fossil extraction, we might go to a good place, you know, even in the future. We may not need to be doomed, you know, and I think that governments are realizing that.
Or too reliant at least, because both the things in terms of ethanol and PLA, they have a direct impact.
And think about it, for yourself and for me,
Yeah.
we are lucky enough to be in this moment in time where everything we do becomes green automatically. We don't even know how to do brown stuff.
Yeah.
Apart from its color.
Very brown.
Yeah.
We at least have the color.
I meant bagasse, but okay.
Okay, no, I was thinking my skin tone.
But like I think that it's really like we've been given this golden opportunity, and if we don't make something of it in this moment, then we are doing the world a great disservice.
Yeah, more power to you. But I come back to my question: how many tons of PLA in 10 years? Give me your audacious best.
Tons of PLA in 10 years, maybe triple of this.
That's not bad.
Yeah, but like I want more molecules.
Yeah.
You know, so I don't know.
How many tons of molecules?
I don't know.
How many tons of polymers?
Okay, why don't we put it this way? So, in terms of sugar, how much sugar would we want to repurpose into other value added? And it won't be only sugar, but honestly, it's only the only way I can sort of put it.
Yeah.
So I would think that maybe the commodity output reduced to 50%.
Okay.
And then we do something better with the rest.
And you'll probably keep going sugar anyways.
Of course.
So
it
you'll
depends.
grow sugar.
That depends on
depends on the government
condition,
and all that.
But as we stand today, I think we have enough scope to add value because India is a sugar surplus country.
Yeah.
You know,
and people are reducing their sugar intake, so maybe that
yeah,
will change.
I mean that would happen at some point, you know, and I think that it's very important to do something. Everything aligns, don't you see?
Yeah.
It's like
it's the right timing for the sugar consumption to go down. You're like, good.
it's not even like honestly, it's just happening, and if I don't do something with that, you
can keep struggling in the same thing and hope that people will eat more sugar and consumption will grow.
But why would I hope that?
Yeah. No, I'm saying if somebody else wasn't looking at things the way you are looking at. So what's your total sugar output now?
So that depends on that depends on recovery, no?
Yeah.
And so okay, it's easier to say that we crush 80,000 tons of sugarcane a day.
Okay.
Let us say in a year we crush between 10 to 11 crore quintals of sugarcane. If you take like an average of 10% recovery, I'll let
the math.
Everybody do the math. But the point
especially the international audience who doesn't understand crores. But don't worry.
Okay, around 12 lakh tons. So like anyway, so the point is
1.2 million tons.
Okay, yeah, you do that part. I am bad at that part. So like let's say like approximately the amount of sugar.
And what is 1 ton of sugar converted to PLA? What is that conversion?
So at the moment, the conversion is 1.7 tons of sugar would give you 1 ton of PLA. But of course, we would optimize that. Like for example, the global leader is already saying 1.5 to 1.5 sugar.
Now you're talking. Now that is audacious. If you say 50% of your even current capacity is 600,000
But we're already
tons.
going there. But we're already going 10% with one plant. Na? So if I'm thinking of triple and a molecule, 50% is gone.
Nice. Amazing. And that takes me to my final question. What does good garbage mean to you?
The kind of garbage that's kind to the earth, you know.
Nice.
And I have enough data on why PLA is nice to the earth.
But for sure.
I'm sure you know more about that.
Yeah, and people can say whatever they want, but ultimately it's coming from a very renewable resource. It does decompose. Of course, it has many things you can do, like you talked about.
So I want to give an interesting sort of metric there. So we did a study, meta basically, and kind of figuring out in the environment how much time would it take for PLA to go away in India. So it depends on what condition it's in, but anywhere between 1 to 12 years, PLA would be completely gone, not emitting methane and being sort of environment neutral is the conclusion of that.
I'll give you an even better study.
Yeah, no, I like conservative.
Yeah, no, I'll give you an even better study, which is up close and personal.
Yeah.
So of course, when we manufacture stuff which is compostable, we don't want to package it in a petroleum polymer. So we used PLA. Oh my gosh, the number of complaints we got because
packaging
it
is
started degrading on the shelf. So,
but
we are trying to,
we are trying to figure that out. That also shouldn't happen. So
Yeah.
actually, that's a very important thing for the audience, like for people to understand that when you want something to go away,
Yeah.
you still have to make it usable. It's
Yeah.
a fine line, and I think I commend people like you and the rest of the community who makes these things usable, really. And without that entire community, my PLA means nothing. So, yeah.
I know that we haven't covered a lot, and a lot of my questions remain, but I will let you go at this stage. But Avantika, it's such a joy to know you. Right from the first time, like I said, when I heard about the way you were thinking from your dad to the time when we met and subsequent meetings, because I think we all need that kind of fresh energy and somebody who's thinking even beyond what we've been thinking. So thank you so much for doing this. Thank you for doing this in India. Thank you for thinking at the scale you're thinking, because that's what's going to make a big difference. And more power to you. Just keep at it.
Thank you so much.
And thank you for taking this time.
Thank you.